Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Cosmic Besties. I'm Kelly and I'm here with Christy, and we're here today to continue our series on intuition or the different clairs. So in the past few episodes, if you've watched them, we have talked about clairvoyance, which is all about clear seeing. We've talked about clairaudience, which is about clear hearing, and the last episode we talked about clairsentience, which is clear feeling. Today we're going to get into claircognizance, which is one of my favorites, and it's all about clear knowing. We did want to call out that there are three lesser known clairs that we're not going to get into in this series, just because from both Christy's experience and mine, they really come at times where you're relying on one of the other clairs. So that's clairgustance, which is clear tasting. So an example of that would be like if you were doing some mediumship, or you had a loved one visiting you, you might taste chocolate because they loved chocolate. Um, or maybe you get a bitter or metallic taste during an intuitive download. Like if you track those sorts of things and if taste is strong for you, it could be something to look into. Clairalience is one that I mentioned in a previous episode. This is the ability to smell things that aren't physically present. So for me, like when my grandfather would be present, I would smell cigarette smoke, even though our whole apartment complex was smoke free back in the day. And that was, I think, him visiting. So we're not going to get into that, but that's smelling something that isn't actually there and getting a knowing related to it. Then there's clear tangency, or what most people call, say, psychometry, and that's like clear touching. So you'll see this in different mediums, like on Christy, who's the younger guy on Netflix who does mediumship readings? Do you remember his
Is it
name?
Tyler like
Yes.
Henry or something?
Yes,
I
Tyler
think
something or another. So when
it's Tyler Henry.
Tyler Henry, thank you. I was like blinking. But you'll notice when Tyler Henry does readings, he'll ask to hold an item, and holding
Mhm.
that piece of jewelry or the item from an individual and getting a sense of who owned it and what their story was, that's psychometry or clairtangency. So we're not going to get into that today, but we are getting into, like I said, our favorite one, which is all about claircognizance. And this is like the sudden knowing of information without any logical explanation. I have a few stories to tell, but Christy, how would you describe claircognizance?
Yeah, so claircognizance to me are those psychic downloads. So a lot of times when I'm channeling, I'm using my claircognizance. So I'm opening up my channel to receive divine wisdom or wisdom from the my angels, my guides, whomever that I'm trying to tap into that frequency. And it's almost like a little channel opens and like whew, like the information is able to be channeled down into me and I just know. So like I'll be speaking, but it's almost as if I'm not in my body. It's just like the claircognizant that I know, the knowing that is coming down through me through my channel and then coming out like through the words that I'm saying. So also claircognizant could be in a situation where I know I've mentioned this before, like you're walking down the street and you just get this inner knowing like I shouldn't turn that corner. And maybe there's going to be somebody on that corner who would rob you, but your claircognizance kicked in and that inner knowing, that inner wisdom that lives within inside of you, like that turned on. And you can amplify it and turn it up like almost as if it's like a little channel that you turn up, or you can like turn it back down if it's like speaking a little too loudly to you. But that's what's really cool to me about claircognizance. What about you?
Yeah, so this is probably one of my strongest ones, although it took me forever to realize that what it actually was. But I can remember like as crazy as it sounds, like as a kid, like struggling a bit in school because in school you always had to show your work or how you got somewhere, and
Mhm.
I would just know answers to things without really having to like work on it or study it. And so I ended up having to like teach myself how to turn it off. But yeah, I've had it come through in a lot of different ways. Just knowing someone is lying, for example, or knowing that something is going to happen, like you said, like not going down a certain direction because it's not the right path and something you need to avoid something negative.
Mhm.
Um, I think it also comes through in lesser ways, like instantly understanding like the complexity of a situation or a truth. Um, or, having that answer that pops into your head that turns out to be accurate, like I did when I was little. But I do get this a lot after meditating. So I find like that's when I'll meditate, and that's when I'll get some of my claircognizance coming through, or what you call downloads. I'll just have a knowing about a situation. So oftentimes, if I'm uncertain about a decision, I will try to sit down and meditate. And, sometimes I'm meditating about, like, I'm totally relaxed, and it has nothing to do with what I'm like the situation I'm in. I could be out in nature. I could just be sitting in, a comfy chair doing my meditation. And I might set the intention ahead of that meditation that I really want clarity on this decision. And so oftentimes I'll meditate. I'll just be completely relaxed and visualizing, I don't know, a forest and a woods or whatever, animals. Sometimes I'll do guided meditations. But what's interesting is that by the time the meditation is done, I just have this knowing feeling of what I need to do. And it's been really useful for me because sometimes I feel pretty indecisive. I'll get decision fatigue from, during the work week, and then I'll struggle to make the decision. So when I can quiet my brain and go within, the clear cognizance really helps in that respect.
Yeah, to me that makes sense because when you're meditating and your nervous system is in that like theta brainwave state or you're just really relaxed, what's happening like internally energetically is that little channel inside of you is able to open in order to receive those like downloads. So a lot of times like you'll see people who start like a meditation practice and then all of a sudden they have a spiritual awakening. It's because that like dormant channel that ancient times we used to use, like it would be automatic, you would just like trust it so much, it's able to come like back online through learning how to like regulate your nervous system and really just kind of get into that deep state of like kind of semi-conscious relaxation. Like a lot of times I think people will receive those like inner knowings or psychic downloads like in the shower or when they're walking or driving is another big one because you're almost like not paying attention. You're just kind of like in a zone. Um, so yeah, like it makes sense to me that when you're meditating afterwards, like you just know what you need to do. Um, yeah, that's definitely like if you want to strengthen your claircognizant, like start a meditation practice because it's gonna just naturally come to you.
Um, have you seen, there's that woman on social media, I think it's Solar Glow Meditations, where she uses the dowsing rods to ask questions. And a lot of times, folks feel like she's connecting with spirit, which I think she is, but I actually have described her to people as using her claircognizance because I think one of the activities that I've encouraged folks to do when they're trying to fine tune their claircognizance is to, uh, kind of sit quietly, set the intention that you're open to receiving clear and accurate inner knowing.
Mhm.
But then you're asking, questions that you don't consciously know the answer to, but you can verify later. So, for example, is the capital of Australia Sydney? So, if that's your knowing, you can write yes or no, and then you can go look this up and verify it. Or did it rain in Paris yesterday? And you can ask these different questions, but in a way, the lady with the dowsing rods is kind of doing that same thing, right? She's asking these questions she doesn't necessarily know the answer to, although hers are less verifiable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what is it? We only use like a very small percentage of our brain. So I think when people are using their claircognizant, you're just tapping into a different area that is normally like asleep. It's, kind of like a volcano, like it's lying dormant until you like awaken it. Um, I also think like with the same thing can be said for people who do like muscle testing or we've talked about before, like the body work where you ask a question and you wait for your body to respond. A lot of times people will say, like, well, that's your clairsentience, but I also think it's your claircognizance kicking in. It's your inner knowing. and your body just is reacting to that like inside like ancient wisdom that lives within you. So that's really cool too.
So one of the things that Christy was going to do for us today is a really cool activity called the Three Roads, and it's a way for each of you to take some time to hone your own claircognizance within. She's done it with me before, and I really enjoyed it. So definitely wanted to make sure we could share it with you all as well.
Yeah, and so what's important about this activity is we're using it to use your claircognizance today, so your inner knowing. But if nothing's coming up, that's okay. Just wait and be patient and allow your other clairs to come online. So some of you, when we're doing this, and I'm describing what you're going to be visualizing or what you're going to be imagining. Some of you may see it right away. Some of you may just have like an inner knowing. And that's okay. So whichever Claire wants to kind of come online and take like the front stage, allow it to. So don't get frustrated. If you find yourself getting frustrated, just like imagine there's just blankness around you and wait for whatever it is that's meant to be revealed to you to be revealed, whether it's through an inner knowing like claircognizance or a vision like through your clairvoyance. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just kind of a fun activity that you can do anytime you're feeling indecisive, or anytime you have to make a decision. So for now, I want you guys to set the intention that you are going to answer a question that's been on your heart. And I want it to be a question that is um, not super complicated, where it's going to be difficult to pull in these images or pull in these inner knowings. So maybe just start with something simple like a yes or no. So Kelly, do you want to be our guinea pig?
I would love to.
Okay. Is there something that has been on your mind or your heart where you're trying to figure out?
Yes, actually.
Okay. Do you feel safe in sharing it with us?
Yeah, so I have three books that I have started writing, and I really need to pick one and actually put some effort into finishing it. But I'm really struggling to choose which of the three books. So um, one is geared towards adults, and it's very practical and related to people management. The second is a fiction book aimed at um, kind of kids around the 10-year-old age range. And the third is kind of like it's a book that's more memory, but like life lessons kind of book. So it's like not as practical, but also
Okay.
simply nonfiction.
Those are perfect. So what I want everybody to do, and you can do it with us now, as long as you're not like driving. If you're driving, just wait and do this later because you are going to have your eyes closed. So I just want everybody to close their eyes. And I just want you to begin to tap into your body. Maybe just tell your body, you know what, we're getting ready to use our claircognizant. Any thoughts that start to come into your mind, allow them to just float away for now. Centering yourself, allowing your heart to calm down. Let's take a collective breath together on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. And breathe out. One more cleansing breath in on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold. And let it all go. If you're feeling nice and calm now, I want you to begin to imagine this first book, the book of practical wisdom, in front of you. And I want you to imagine that this book is a road. So just wait for the road to begin to come into focus. Notice what this road looks like. Is there flow with it? Does it feel like the path is one of ease, or are there lots of things in the way? Is there any dominant color that you're seeing? How does this road feel to you? Do you notice any sensations coming through when you think about this road of this book of practical wisdom? Okay, now I want you to bring the second book and bring that into your focus. The second book was a fictional book meant for young adults or developing readers. So I want you to focus on this book and imagine this road before you. So a second road. How does this road look? How is it different from the first road? Are there different colors? Is it long and windy, or is it straight? Are you going uphill or downhill or just staying steady? And now I want you to bring the third book to mind. So this book is more of a memoir about her own experiences. Bring this book into focus in your mind's eye using your imagination if you want to. And now I want you to imagine the third road that is connected to this third book. What does this road look like? Tap into your senses. How does this road feel to you? What sensations are you picking up on? Are there any symbols or colors that you're seeing? And now take a step back as if you're looking at a panoramic photo. And I want you to see all three roads lined up next to each other. Allow the road that you feel intuitively is the one that is right for Kelly to start with. Allow that road to begin to become brighter and brighter and brighter. And when you notice this happening, I want you to just say thank you to your higher self for coming through today. Thank you to any guides and angels who came through to bring in your inner knowing. And let's just take a deep breath together as we come back into our bodies. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. And let it all go. So you guys can open your eyes. Um, okay, can I tell you what I saw and then you can share what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you guys are watching this now, just while you're listening to me and listening to Kelly, maybe like write down on a piece of paper what you saw. So you can pause this, go get a piece of paper and a pen, and just write down the three different roads and how they felt and what you were seeing. So for me, what I saw for you at the first road is it was very straight, but there wasn't like a lot of like greenery and plants around it. It was almost kind of um like a road out in the desert. But then all of a sudden I saw like this house being formed in front of me, and I saw a kitchen, and I saw this woman in the kitchen. I don't know, maybe she's someone who will buy your book. And she like had like books on a shelf, and I saw her like taking your book down and like looking through it and then putting it back. So to me, the sense that I got was this is a book that somebody would use, like not sit through and read all in one sitting. They would just like pick it up as they need it and put it back. The road felt it felt like a good road, but it felt as though it wasn't maybe as vibrant as you could make it. So then when I got to the middle road, which was the fictional book, it was like alive. Like there was greenery and abundance everywhere. There were like tropical flowers, and it almost felt like a jungle, and it just felt like there was so much growth and vibrancy. And to me, the dominant color was green, which to me feels like abundance and like money. So I feel like this would be more of a money maker where you're going to have more and more people who are going to be reading this book and buying this book. It felt very much like there was a lot of new growth happening all the time. So maybe that could mean that there would be, monetary value coming in all the time. As opposed to the first road where I felt like people were just using it when they needed something and then putting it back, almost like a cookbook where you would get it out for a recipe and then put it back on the shelf when you were done. Whereas the middle road felt like it's people would like devour it and read it and then want to buy more and more. Um, so the third road, what I felt, it felt very cold to me at first, almost like it was like this barren road, and there were like little rocks everywhere, but not a whole lot of growth. In the distance, I saw this beautiful light. So I do feel like it is something that could be successful, but to me, it felt like a very long road to get there, to get to this light. So I felt like it would be more effort for you to get to the success than the one in the middle. So when I lined up all the roads together, obviously the one that like started lighting up for me was the one in the middle. So if you were coming to me for a session and asking me like what my claircognizant was showing me, I would tell you that I feel like the middle road is going to provide you with more abundance, um, felt more like adventurous, more fun, more freeing, more creative than the other two roads.
So
So thoughts?
interesting. So I had the same outcome, but
Oh
slightly
my
different
gosh.
imagery.
Yeah, and that's a collective consciousness. So if you guys had a similar like visions or we were picking up similar things, like please let us know.
So my first road was like a country road, but it was very gray. It was very straightforward, but the primary color was gray. It was easy. It wasn't exciting. It was accessible, but like I said, it was gray. Like I walked away of being like, okay, it's kind of. I describe it as like the vanilla option. So
Mm,
like I
yeah,
should do it, but it's not the thing that's going to like be super as fulfilling. Like.
yeah.
Um, the second one, I saw like I've never been to a place like this before, but almost like it was like a beach type setting, but like driving around like it was like a coastal road around a mountain, and it was sunny and bright and there were palm trees. And then the third one was a freeway in a city that was like really windy and fast and slightly crazy. And it seemed like it would take forever to figure out how to get to the final destination. So when I ordered them, I put the kids book, the middle one is one, the practical management book is two, and then the memoir is three.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's kind of like what I was picking up on too. And I got like a fuzz in my mouth. Sorry. But the what you were seeing in your like the kids book is very similar to what I like. I was seeing like tropical flowers and like just like
When you
kind of
said
a
tropical
jungle.
flowers, I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
had palm trees.
Yeah, to me it felt like Hawaii where it was like adventurous and like just full of this like abundant like greenery and beauty. And yeah, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like really creative and like fun for her.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that is just like a really kind of easy way if you have a decision, you can pull up your three roads. And let's say like and Kelly had three books. Let's say Kelly only had one book. What I might do with her then for the three roads activity is I would say, okay, like um let's see what would the road be like if Kelly um started this book now? Or then the second road might be like, well, what would the road be like if Kelly made this into a series? Or what would this road look like if Kelly did something else, something different, a different type of book? So you can kind of play around with it. It doesn't have to be like three things. It could just be one thing that you have a question on, but see it in three different situations, in three different scenarios. And that way you'll be able to kind of differentiate, well, okay, this path is maybe the path that is going to be the path of ease, or the path of like adventure and fun, or the path of creativity. Whatever the path is that like you are wanting to go towards, use the three of them and find the one that's lighting up to you.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the validation that my three roads and my own intuition were being amplified by your own consciousness and the collective.
Yeah, and you guys please let us know like what your experience was, if you do this on yourself or if you sat and did this with Kelly and me. We want to hear from you too.
Yeah, we'd love to have guests in the future too. So if you are feeling brave and actually want to join us for an upcoming episode, we'd love to have you as a guest. You can either contact Christy or me via DM, or you can email us at cosmicbesties@gmail.com.
All right, have a good one.